Hey guys, Cam from 15 back at it with another video for you guys, and I'm back with another new Winter of Anime 2023 episode review for you guys. And I'm talking about one of the more newer animes that came out today, and that is Spy Classroom. Um, this show honestly is off to a pleasantly good start, and I am really liking this. Not only because there's cute anime girls who are spies, but I'm just liking the premise of where the show is going to go. And I already am in love with the main character, Lily, because I think she gives off best girl vibes. So far, she is my leading candidate for best girl, hands down, of the season. But I definitely did enjoy this. This was actually a pretty interesting show, just to say the least. And I knew that I would like this show, but one episode in, I'm already like intrigued, already am loving where the show is headed. And it's very interesting just to see from the aspect, pretty much you pair these girls all together in this group who, for all honesty, are pretty much in the grand scheme, their academies pretty much sent them to this place to do this impossible mission, which we find out impossible missions are like, for spies, are like probably the upper echelon, the toughest missions you can do. And one of their girls make a mention of the fact, like, there's a 90% rate where even the top best of spies end up dying in these impossible missions. So in other words, these academies saw these girls which to them are completely useless. They're not good. They use the term washouts. Pretty much they're failures at being spies and everything. So the academy is like, well, here, you're called here and everything. So in a way, the academies are kind of in a way sending them off to die. And that's even what the girls even speculate. Well, then if we can't freaking do this and we're being sent to do an impossible mission, then we're just being sent to die. Well, then that doesn't sound good. I don't want to die pretty much that early in their lives. But you have these washouts, these failures pretty much. And you pair them up with literally the greatest spy in the world, in Klaus. And even though he's the greatest spy in the world, he probably is definitely not the greatest teacher in the world, which we see in this week's episode. But it left me intriguing, and even after the first episode, I'm like, I need more. I want more of this show. And it's very intriguing to see. I feel like we're gonna go and we're gonna get development for all the other girl characters, but this week was strictly focused on Lily in terms of, you know, what she's got going on and everything. And we find out how she ends up becoming the leader of this group, because we get the first start of this episode where clearly, Klaus was being told, like, hey, I got this mission you need to do. And then I guess we see them in the future, these spy chicks in the future, and they're doing this mission, which is more than likely the impossible mission that they're doing. And obviously Lily is the leader of the group here. But it's interesting to see that she has this bubbly, cutesy, ditzy-like personality. It honestly reminds me of Chizito from like Horus Recoil from last year. Heck, I'm watching the other anime, like the Reincarnated Princess thing, anime, and I even see, and she also gives me Chizito vibes. I don't know. I like these bubbly, cutesy-like girls that are badass, but they have this cutesy side that reminds me of Chizito. So maybe we're just gonna start to see more girl characters in animes that kind of, I wouldn't say are like 1-to-1 ratio resemblances of Chizito, but they have that similar like personality she had, because a lot of people like that character. But just to see like what she has going on and everything. And we even find out like pretty dang dark backstory about her. We find, which I'll get into a second, but we kind of find this world to be established, the fact that pretty much there's wars going on between different countries and everything. And these different countries have their spies go to these countries to get intel, bring it back to their country so they can try to get the one up on them. In other words, other spies may run into each other, which means they have to, obviously fight with each other. And it's interesting because the episode's like, well, we do this, spies battle against other spies, and it's time for more intel, and we call these the Shadow Wars. So it's actually gonna be interesting to see if we're gonna see these group of girls go up against other spies in this series, to say the least. But that was kind of the interesting thing. And then, like I made a mention, Klaus ends up the greatest spy in the world. Pretty much is trying to teach them, and he like does this one thing where he tries to show them how to do this lock pick, because they're like, well, they can pick locks. It just we make with one of the, I think it was Lily. Lily makes a mention, well, it only take me 15 minutes. Dude grabs all their freaking locks and he just breaks it within seconds. He's like, you see, after my teaching, you guys will know how to do this eventually in the time being. And eventually they're like, okay, could you show us again, please? He does it again, and they're like, wait a second, how'd you do that again? And he's like, I just showed you. What are you talking about? And they're like, you could be a little bit more descriptive in your telling, how you tell us and everything. So that's kind of the thing there. And it's just like, he's like, okay. And then that's when the girls come to the realization, they're like, wait, you can't teach us because you don't know what to do. And he's like, well, self-study and everything. That's when they have this whole discussion. I'm like, well, were we just sent here to do this impossible mission just to die, since we're like washouts and we're outcast and we're not good at what we do? And then that's when we have the moment where Lily pretty much asks Klaus, like, hey, there's this thing I want to go do. I want to go see some parts of the town to make the girls cheer up a bit. And we have this kind of thing where we get more into the psyche of Klaus. At the same time, we get more of an understanding of Lily a bit, to an extent. But we kind of get an understanding of Klaus is the fact that, we see how this one dude who steals like this wallet off this lady, he ends up getting it back and giving it to her. And we pretty much find out the reason why he has a hard time teaching is because he's been doing this spy stuff for a long time. Everything kind of comes to him instinctively, without a single thought in his head. So to him, he's thinking instinctively. He has no like, oh, this is how you do this, like the steps to get to what you need to do. He just does it instinctively because he's been doing it all his life, pretty much. And in a way, he can't really teach people how to do things instinctively, and that kind of doesn't make him that good of a teacher. So then, the more they walk and everything, they go see this river where there's all these boats and everything. And they kind of go on a boat thing. I'm like, hold on a second. I thought this was a spy anime here. I'm like, don't tell me we're going to have some sort of romance between Klaus and our main girl, Lily. I'm literally thinking, I'm like, well, in a way they can kind of deem this as kind of a date. She's looking all nice and everything. I love her character design. I think she's a cute girl. I'm like walking around. I'm like, I wonder if somebody's going to get the wrong impression. Like, oh, that man and that woman, the lady, they look nice together. I'm like, is this like some sort of weird date episode or something? Then the boat scene happens. I'm like, oh my gosh, this might actually be a date episode. And then you get to the moment to where it's just the sunset and everything. It would be like that perfect like confession like moment, or where we would probably maybe see Lily, he says probably something so inspirational that Lily would probably fall for our greatest spy in the world, Klaus. And I'm like, okay, she's gonna pretty much, work alongside and stay alongside this guy, because she was thinking about quitting, just straight up. And I'm just, okay, maybe he's gonna say something, it's gonna resonate with her. She may actually catch some feelings for this guy, and maybe she stays because she wants to impress this guy because she likes him, and everything. And she finds a way to goat the other girls to stay along and stay. But no. We get we get the scene where he tells her like, hey, remember the sunset, remember the smiles, the people you saw in the town don't forget that. Because he makes the mention, he's like, you see, it wasn't too long ago, there was this person that was literally trying to bomb the village right then and there, but luckily for we got intel on that, and there were spies that were able to stop him. And pretty much it's kind of a way of saying, we're kind of the people that can stop, these attacks from happening, where, those smiles get taken away. These nice, beautiful landscapes, they get taken away. And it's a nice kind of life lesson to, value what you have in your life, value what you see, and I'm like, okay, I like this. And then you have it to where Lily, she goes on to make the mention and say, listen, I'm sorry, but I can't do this. We're being sent on an impossible mission. We have no chance of living from this and everything. And I understand that. That's why I'm letting you know I want to resign from this, and I want to walk away from this, and I want you to let the other girls walk away from this, because we're washouts and we don't want to do, we don't deserve to die for this case. And then next thing you know, she unleashes a whole like gas which paralyzes Klaus, and I'm like, hold on, what is she not like, was she lying this entire time that she's a washout, she wasn't good, and she actually like is a legit like beast of a spy? She's probably gonna take this guy out, and then she's gonna go back and she's gonna, all right, let's go, I'm gonna train you guys and everything, and we're gonna get this. I literally thought, I'm like, oh, maybe she's actually a legit spy, maybe she actually isn't just a washout. No, she's like actually pretty damn good at her job, and then she's just gonna go back and teach the other spies how to get better in their own rights. And I'm like, oh, okay. But no, we get 180'd again, and we find out that Klaus actually knew. Oh, he was like, yeah, I actually knew you were planning this from the entire time, because he makes the mention when she went to go see him in a way to ask him out, to just hang out a bit and everything. She listed all the places that she wanted to go see, but he's like, yeah, you've actually left out the lake. And the moment you put that down, I had a feeling like, well, anything. And then obviously too, the fact that there's nobody around them, he's like, yeah, that was another factor in the aspect where I knew there was nothing around you. There was a part, he explains like, oh, the reason why I didn't let you get into the boat is because you would have seen the sign that shows this boat is reserved and everything, which would have let you knew in like, okay, something's up. And that's why he went in the boat first, and she didn't even think about it and everything, which was absolutely funny, because she's pretty much shackled, even though she's holding this poison needle that could pretty much kill the guy. And the dude's like, well, that's kind of it, and we're sinking now, so what do you want to do? And he's like, and pretty much he's like, look, give me the antidote, I can get us out of this situation, we can cooperate just fine. And it was funny because she's like, actually, I kind of left the antidote in my freaking room. And thing is, she's like, well, you see, the paralytic will wear off in like 10 minutes. And the dude's like, we don't got 10 minutes. We got only 5 minutes. So you better row, which is absolutely funny. That's when he ends up getting to the shore. Klaus does end up saying like, look, I didn't choose you because you want you guys to die. I chose you guys because guess what? You guys have the talent on what it takes to be great spies under my watch. So yeah, he makes her the leader of the team. And pretty much, I guess their next test is to beat him in a fight and everything. So yeah, really solid start. I'm really liking where this show's going. I'm liking Lily as a character. I think she's gonna be a great leader, and everything. And yeah. I'm already liking Klaus too. Klaus seems like he's a cool ass dude. So yeah. But anyways, that was my thoughts on the first episode of Spy Classroom. There was actually a pretty good twist in this episode. I literally thought, I'm like, oh, okay, maybe she's actually not. Maybe she actually is a badass spy, but then no, she's actually not that good. She needs to get better, but obviously we can see why Lily is obviously the leader person. Is gonna be the leader person of this group. So yeah. I don't, the first episode was titled after her code name, so I wonder if the next episode is going to be titled after another one of these girls' code names, and that episode is going to focus on that character. Oh, I forgot to make a mention. We actually get a pretty dark backstory. We find because when she unleashes the gas, he's wondering like, wait, how are you not affected by the gas? And that's not paralyzing you. And she's like, well, in my past, in the old village I used to live in, this country tried out a very dangerous weapon, and I was the only one that was alive in this whole thing. And we find out that these people in these gas masks from this other country, found her, and in a way she's kind of immune to like poison gas or stuff like that. So that's a pretty actually interesting ability. I wonder if their code names are also based on like a special ability. Maybe these girls don't have special abilities, but it seems like Lily has this like special ability of hers where she's just immune to like gases and things like that. So very interesting to say the least. That's actually a pretty kind of dark backstory to say the least. But again, I'm really liking Spy Classroom. I'm really intrigued to see where the show goes. And yeah, but anyways, if you guys like the video, leave a like, put in the comments section. I almost said put in the classroom. Put in the comment section your thoughts on the first episode of Spy Classroom, as well as hit the subscribe button if you want to get more Spy Classroom content. Another reason why, and one more thing, another reason before I get out of here, another reason why I also like this, it's a nice way to, after Spy X Family is done, it's a nice way to get another, I guess, spy espionage anime. So that's another thing I like. But anyways, guys, catch you guys later. Stay safe out there and have a great rest of your day or night when you watch this video. Peace.